So today I was just going to make just a quick video type vlog thing since I haven't really done one of those in a while. I've mostly just been stuck on doing unboxings, and I know those get just really boring and tired after a while. It's kind of like, well, doesn't she know how to do anything else? I've just been really busy lately, haven't been feeling well, and unboxings is just kind of a way to keep the channel updated. But I have a very old photo challenge that I wanted to do today because I completely forgot about it. Usually when I do these, I like posting them and just getting those out there just kind of to share what I had participated in, or just collecting people's I guess just thoughts on the different photo challenges. It's just something that I find entertaining, and I apologize for the really bad lighting in here today. I just couldn't get it to work today, so I'm just making do. So as usual, I'm just going to be going off of the questions off of my iPad. So this was actually a photo challenge that I had done off of Instagram, and this was the September Horror Challenge, which had been started by a lady who refers to herself as Love of Horror. So obviously she referred to her photo challenge as Love of Horrors Challenge. Duh. Anyway, this was just a really short one. It was just a 15-day challenge. So I just figured I'll just go ahead and update with this, and I do have a second one in September that I will also get around to. That one is the full month challenge. The first question on this challenge is, in my opinion, obviously, best slasher film of the 80s. I went with A Nightmare on Elm Street. Fred Krueger has just always been one of my favorite characters. I remember first time I ever saw that movie, it just scared the crud out of me. Just the fact that you'd have a woman being assaulted by some invisible assailant, dragging her across the wall and cutting her, or, you know, just beds that spit out people. It's pretty insane stuff. It's pretty much nothing by today's standards, but back at the time it was just, what in the world is this? And I apologize if you hear any weird sounds in the background. That's actually just my dogs playing in the room next door, so sorry about that. Question 2, best slasher film 90s. No, I did not go with Wes Craven. I actually went with Candyman. I think it's just an absolute beautiful movie. It's very gritty, especially the fact that the movie was actually filmed in Cabrini Green, which is considered one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in Chicago. Even the fact that the filmmakers were willing to go there, I just find completely insane and dedicated. But I think it definitely adds to the sense of dread and true horror because it's obviously a very dangerous neighborhood. The actors are not playing it up. I mean, obviously while filming, they had to look out for themselves. But I definitely love that realistic tension, the fact that you're dealing with the human monster element, and then you have the urban myth which comes in, which is the story of Candyman. And to my knowledge, that's the first time an urban myth type story has ever happened, other than Urban Legend, which was, I believe, late 90s, early 2000s. But I think it's an extremely well-written story. It's obviously based off of a short story written by Clive Barker. I do not remember the name of the story, but I believe it was part of a collection called Books of Blood. And please don't crucify me if I misquoted that, because I haven't read Clive Barker in a very long time. Day number 3 was a selfie with you wearing your favorite horror shirt. I went with, obviously, A Nightmare on Elm Street. This is actually a newer shirt. It's not my original or first favorite shirt, but I love the color scheme, the blacks, the reds, the whites. Excuse me. I obviously doubled it with a red shrug, which I think fits it well because it also seems to have kind of like that whole slash look to it, and obviously just a red beret, but I just think it's an amazing shirt. Day number 4, a horror film you've watched 50 times. That would be a ton of movies. But the one I chose to go with was Hellraiser. It's one of the few movies that I can quote along to as I watch it. But once again, I think it's just a very beautiful movie. It's definitely a story of twisted and warped love, but just excellent dialogue. It's not canned, it's not forced, it's not cheesy. The characters at some point say things that come off as odd, but that's daily life. Everyone says things that doesn't quite flow on occasion. Day number 5, favorite video game. I'm actually not into video games right now. I tend to cycle and go through periods of where I play tons of video games, then I just get bored with them, and then I just move on. But the first favorite game that I have had in a very long time, which I believe was one of the launch titles from PlayStation 3, was Ninja Gaiden Sigma, which, it's a sword, come on. But Ryu Hayabusa, awesome character. Obviously, I know he goes back to the original NES, but I just really love that story. He's one of the few characters that I follow through games. That's also the way that I found out about DOA, which I know DOA came first, but like I said, I'm not a big video game person. Day number 6, movie with the best soundtrack. One of my constant favorites has always been the soundtrack to Cat People. Obviously, Giorgio Moroder worked on that, and it's just one of my absolute favorite soundtracks. I actually do listen to it on, if not a daily basis, a weekly basis, so it's in constant rotation. Day number 7, favorite horror item from your collection? My current favorite item, or at the time, I would have to go with my signed photograph of Chloe Moretz as her character of Carrie. I just think it's a very beautifully done photo, and like I've said, I tend to gravitate towards the blacks and the reds, and that photo definitely has tons of it. Day number 8, favorite zombie movie, obviously Lucio Fulci's Zombie. And one of my favorite scenes, which I'm sure most people like that scene, is the zombie versus shark. I just think it's very well done. I've never seen any other film tackle it, and if it were done today, I think it would just be extremely disappointing. I think certain effects should be done as practical effects. They work very well, obviously not always. And sometimes you do get a good mix of the digital and practical. But you honestly don't get to see that too often. Usually films just drown you with the digital stuff. Day 9 was take a selfie with a horror-related item. Big duh. I took a picture in front of my zombie poster. That actually faces my bed. I actually wanted it to be above my bed. I just thought it'd be kind of cool to have something just really just gross and creepy just looming over me. But the wall space just didn't work out, so it's actually in front of me. So he's the first thing I see when I wake up, so woo! Day 10 was favorite horror quote, and I'm actually getting tired of this question because I know most horror challenges or photo challenges always go with the favorite horror quote question, and I usually quote something off of Hellraiser, and this time I just figured, let's just go with something different. So I went with the line from Predators, which was Topher Grace's response, which was just kind of just very dry delivery, sarcastic, which was bitch raping time. Obviously, I forget the character's name, but it was in response to him saying once he gets off the island or yada yada, 5 o'clock, it's bitch raping time. And he's like, okay, bitch raping time. Day 11 was favorite horror director. This round I went with Wes Craven. He's definitely directed a lot of films that I have enjoyed over the years, films that I still do like and enjoy. So that was just pretty much it. I just like to change up my answers every now and again on these photo challenge type deals, but there's just no way I can just narrow myself down to just one director. That's just the equivalent of asking somebody to eat the same food for the rest of the days of their life. That's just inhumane. Day 12 was funniest scene in a horror movie. I went with Dead Alive, the zombie love scene with the, I believe it was the zombie priest and the zombie nurse. That's actually the first time I had ever seen any type of a scene like that done before, and I don't know, I just think it's just obviously ridiculous, far-fetched, hilarious, but I don't think I've ever seen anybody else do it since then, but yeah, pretty funny. Day 13 was a gory horror movie that you love. I doubt that would be a big surprise. I went with The Evil Dead, the original one, obviously. I've just always really loved that movie, and I don't think, as far as, you know, my top films, I don't think anything would ever replace that one. Day 14 was favorite Halloween themed movie. I really don't care for the holiday type films or the themed type films, but I guess for that one I would go with Trick or Treat. I mean, you have the whole soundtrack by Fastway, cameos by Gene Simmons and Ozzy Osbourne. The story really isn't much, but you know, it's just 80s cheese. It's fun. You can't really beat that. Day 15, the last day from the horror challenge, was write a post explaining why you love horror. I honestly think that's just a very ridiculous question. Most people really don't have a reason why they love horror, they just do. So I just pretty much just gave a BS answer on that because I just like it. So basically my response to that question had been, I've always loved creepy and gory things. The films that startled me in my youth are the ones that I respect the most. And even though I got over the fear of those movies, or just the initial shock, I still love them because I haven't found any other movies that have given me that same feeling. But obviously, The Evil Dead is one of those movies, and that's, aside from the gore, one of the reasons why I love it so much. And I know the answer just kind of trailed off topic a bit, but like I said, you can't really expect a person to explain why they like horror. It's kind of like asking a woman, why is she so girly? Or, you know, why do women watch soap operas? It's just crap that certain people do. Horror's not crap, obviously, soap operas are. But that's pretty much it. And I guess I will see you guys in the next horror challenge.